Hey there and welcome. My name is Kat. My co-host is Luis, and we're going to be diving into mobile messenger today. One of my favorite tools in Bravo because it makes staying connected with your customers so easy. Whether you're sending a quick reminder or a promo, this one is one of those features that quietly works in the background but makes a big impact. So today we are going to go over a handful of things. We'll start with what mobile messenger is and why it matters. Then we'll show you how to update your message templates. Next, we'll show you how to send and schedule those messages, and we'll also show you how to manage customer experience. Then we are going to go into how to view customer history, our contact history, and lastly, we'll look at some reporting. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So, what exactly is mobile messenger? Think of it as your digital voice to your customers. You can send text messages or app notifications right from Bravo without needing to open anything else or juggle outside tools. Need to remind someone of their layaway that's about to expire? Want to share a sales promotion or a link to MobilePon? Done. It's all built in and designed to make your day a little easier. All right, so let's talk about the difference between sending a text versus a notification. Now, texts are awesome because they don't rely on customers downloading anything. Everyone has a phone and messages go straight to it. But there is a catch. Texting, it has a maximum of 160 characters, and there's also something called shaft regulations that we'd have to adhere by, and that stands for sex, hate, alcohol, firearms, and tobacco. It's pretty much a compliance rule that's set by carriers and mobile networks to prevent spam from being sent via text. So Bravo has went through and created a list of discoverable terms that carriers have typically blocked. That means words like pawn, loan, or firearm can't be sent through text, so a little creativity is required when drafting messages. Now, we've elected to block these known terms because if you have too many violations, the text provider can pull the ability for you to send messages altogether. Now, here's where notifications really shine. Our notifications are sent through our mobile apps like MobilePon or Baya, and you don't have to follow any shaft rules. The assumption is that the customer downloaded the app, so they're expecting and welcoming communication from you. On top of that, notifications cost less than text. So if your customers are using the app, it's a great way to save some money while still staying connected with them. Another major difference is that texts are limited to 160 characters, whereas notifications have a little bit more leeway with up to 1,600 character messages. Now, mobile messenger isn't just convenient, it drives true results. So, on average, stores using it processed 289 more transactions per week just by staying connected with their customers. They also completed 1,000 more layaways, which means that customers followed through, which ultimately more revenue through your doors. In terms of sales, these stores saw over 172,000 in additional in-store revenue. So that's a major boost tied directly to customer outreach. And with 236 more active loan customers, it's clear that a simple little reminder can be the difference between a lost customer and a returning one. Now, these aren't just one-off wins, they're consistent outcomes from teams who are using messaging to their advantage. The goal here is to show you how to update your text and app notification templates so that they're clear, on brand, and personalized based on your preference. So we're going to pop out of here and head directly into our Bravo here. from our dashboard, we are going to navigate to the right side menu and head into System Configuration. Once we're in our system configuration, we're going to pop over to the Configuration tab, where we can then head to either our text messaging configuration section or to our notifications. So we're just going to go ahead and scroll down and start with text messaging. So once we pop this open, you'll see all of the different templates that you can go in and adjust. If you want to make any type of changes, you simply click Edit, and then the little pencil next to the template you want to adjust. So in here, if we want to hop into the single layaway notice template, this is going to allow you to adjust that template so that it matches the message you want to send out. Now, up top, we have these really handy things called smart fields. And what they are is each one of them is labeled so that it pulls information directly from Bravo. So for instance, this customer dot first name will always pull the customer's name into that text message that you're sending it to. So instead of it saying, Luis, your layaway is or instead of it saying your layaway is past due, it'll say, Luis, your layaway is past due. Now, these ones do have the character limit of 160 characters, and up top you'll see that as of right now, we have used 115 characters, and as we start adding more to it, it will start adding to that character count. So you can go in and simply just change the template based on how you want to say things to your customers. Now, this goes for all of the different templates that are available here, along with anything that is in your mobile pawn configuration too. You'll see all of those mobile pawn templates as well. So to head back to our deck, we're going to start heading into sending and scheduling messages. So ultimate goal here is simply that. Now, let's take a quick look at the different type of messages that you can send in Bravo. First up, we have our loan notices. These are like a heads up to your customer that their loan is past due and needs attention by a certain date. In many areas, they're required by law to send out. One-off messages are quick, personalized messages that you can manually send from a customer's loan, layaway, or profile, and they're great for one-time reminders or updates. Next up, we have scheduled events. Now, these are automated one-time messages based on your templates that you configure in Bravo. So Bravo includes several pre-built options like loan layaway reminders, but you can also create your own custom events when you need to send something specific just once. Next up, we have campaigns, and these are recurring messages that go out automatically based on rules you define, which are perfect for regular promotions, follow-ups, or re-engagement messages. Now, the great thing about sending messages directly from Bravo is that it automatically updates your customer's contact history anytime those messages are sent out. So now that we know the types of messages that Bravo has available, let's show you how to send and schedule them. So back inside Bravo, we are going to go ahead and head to our dashboard. I'm going to use the little icon in the upper left-hand corner. Alrighty, so in here, the very first thing that we wanted to talk about was sending loan notices. So if you are required to send loan notices, you will see a handy task management button, and the little notification bubble just lets you know how many loans need you to send notices to them. So if we pop right into our task management pre-built list, this is going to show everybody who needs a notice sent to them. Now, if we navigate to the right side menu, just below this line, these are going to be actions that you can take on any of the highlighted loans in this section. So I'm going to pop all the way down to our notices. Now, if I wanted to go through and send a mobile notice to everyone in this queue, I can simply select the Send Mobile Notices for All, and it would basically send a notice to every single person on this list without having to go one by one. Now, if you want a little bit more control of this, you can go through and manage them individually or even in a bulk manner. So let's say I wanted to send it to the first handful of customers on this list. I can just hold Shift down on my keyboard. The first one's already highlighted. Head to the next one that I want to send consecutively, and it will highlight multiple in there. From here, we can head to that right side menu and send mobile notice, and it will basically send a mobile notice to all of those highlighted customers. Alternatively, you can also send them one by one. So as long as the customer is highlighted, you can select from that side menu, or even if you're a right clicker like me, right click on the loan and send a mobile notice. And this will basically queue that up. And when we save out that message, it's going to send it and also update their contact history. Now, in here, we also can send one-off messages to our customers. And we can pretty much send them from any area that we see a customer in our screen. So from the loan buy areas, from the layaway areas, from the customer screen, or even directly from the customer profile. So if we pop in here, we will see this little notification bubble or message bubble, and that's just an indication that your customer is allowed to receive messages from you. So if we go ahead and click on that, we can then send out a one-off message to our customer. And just like we have in some of our other areas, it also keeps track of your message count. So the little green number here just starts counting the characters that you've started typing in. So in here for my message, it's saying I have 22 characters, and for a text, it's going to be 160 character max. But again, for a reminder for Mobile Pawn, it's 1600 for a Mobile Pawn notification. All right, now let's go ahead and head directly into our scheduled events. So our scheduled events are located in our customer section. So we're going to head to the right side menu. We're going to click on customers and expand that menu. And we're going to go right to our scheduled mobile events. So in here, you will see a variety of different message templates that Bravo has already created for you. Things like those loan and layaway reminders that you can easily customize in your system configuration. Now, up here, you'll see that they have like little check boxes and they have checks in them. So if they are checked, it basically means that it is enabled. When it's enabled, that means that that message will be sent out when it becomes appropriate to send it out. So for instance, if you have a layaway coming up due, it will basically send out that message to your customer one day beforehand. Now, in here, we do have a handful of messages that are of similar nature, but go out at different times. So when we start looking at our loan courtesy reminders, we have ones configured to go out the same day it's due, one day before it's due, 3 days before it's due, and 5 days before it's due. So even though you can't really go in and adjust how many days until it's sent out, you can always go through and just disable the messages you don't want to send out. So let's say I definitely want to send out a loan notice the day of and the day maybe 7 days before. So I'm going to just disable all of the reminders that I don't want to send out from my store. So in here, we have kept the 7-day reminder and the day of reminder for our loan reminders. Now, if you have mobile pawn part of your product lineup, all of these templated ones created by Bravo for loan and layaway reminders, along with these mobile pawn onboarding messages, are all free sent directly from Bravo. So that is an added plus to having our mobile pawn options or our mobile app options. Now, we have a bunch of created templates in here. And if we wanted to go through and maybe create a custom message, maybe we're hosting a tent sale and we want to notify our customers about it for next Friday. So at that point, we can go ahead and head to the top of this queue. We're going to click on this green little button and it's going to open up that custom message. Now, keep in mind, any custom message you create is going to be a paid for message. It's not going to be free from Bravo. So if you want to update the loan or layaway reminders, you do that through system configuration. But if you wanted to do something custom, you would then create it here. In here, we're going to go through and we're going to name our event. So this is for our tent sale. We are going to select what day it goes out. So this is for next week's tent sale. It's going to be on Friday, but we want to give our customers a little bit of leeway. So we're going to send this message out on Wednesday so that our customers have enough time to join in. Over here, it's going to show the time of day that the message is going to be sent out. And then we have a handful of different options here. So the delivery method is what we're looking at next. And when we pop open this drop-down box, you have three options. Auto is basically it will send to all of your customers who have mobile pawn through mobile pawn first. And anybody who doesn't have mobile pawn, it will then do a backup with a text message. So all of your customers are reached, but you're still getting that cost benefit of sending it through the more affordable option. Now, if you are only targeting people who have text messaging, you can then hit SMS only. And for mobile pawn as well. If mobile pawn is selected, it only sends out to the folks who are enrolled into your mobile pawn. Now, the box right below that is going to be your targeted customer base. So from here, if you have unlimited, that basically means that a message will be sent out to your entire customer base. So if you have a really large customer base, 10,000 plus customers, this might not be the best option. You might want to narrow down that field so you're not sending out a ton of messages. And that's where these little ranges come into play. So in the last year would basically just send it out to those customers who have had an active transaction with you within the past year. And then that's how you kind of can determine from there whether you want it to be 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, or more. So we are going to go ahead and just do it for the last year. Now, right below that, we have our template where we can type out our custom message. So for our tent event, I'm going to make sure that our customers know it's from us. So I'm going to use that smart field with our SMS friendly name. And then I'm going to start drafting my message. Oh, I guess one thing I did want to point out before I start putting this in is that even though these are smart fields, they do take up a character count. So we have 26 that are associated with our store name. So if you have a really long store name or a really short store name, you might want to give yourself a little bit of leeway with your message just based on, what kind of smart tags you're adding in. So once I put in my custom message here, it's going to give me my character count in green for the message. The yellow message represents our cap character count for texting, and the red one reflects our cap character count for mobile pawn. All right. So once we go ahead and hit OK, then that message will be set in stone and will be set to go out on May 7th. Now, we have another type of custom event that we can look at. So we're going to go ahead and add in another one by clicking that green button up top. And now instead of it being custom, we're going to use that drop down box to select a campaign. Now, campaigns are exactly the way they are configured the exact same way that custom messages are. So we are always going to be in that customer section, scheduled mobile events, and we're going to go through the same process of naming it and, determining how we're sending out our message. So for this campaign, we host a Valentine's Day sale every year. So instead of coming in and drafting a new Valentine's Day message every single year, I'm going to set it and forget it. So this is for Valentine's Day. We're going to select when it is being sent out, the method of how it's being sent out, and then also the customer outreach that we want to head into. So again, huge customer base. You might want to narrow down this to, maybe the last year or 3 years. All right, we are going to go ahead and pop in our Valentine's Day message. So very similar to that custom message that we made for a one-time sale. And we're going to include our store name here. Now, the difference for custom messages versus campaigns is going to be how we configure our recurrence rules. So in here, right between the name of it and the time we're sending it out, we're just going to click that Make Recurring. And here's where we can go through and set our recurrence rules. So we are going to go a monthly pattern. We want to send it out on the 10th day every 12 months. So this is going to only happen once a year, but I want to send it out a few days before Valentine's Day even hits to give our customers a chance to make it in. And then we're going to set when it's going to start. So we're going to pop over to February 10th. And now at the very bottom, it is going to basically give us a little description of what rules we set in place. So this will automatically send a recurring message starting on February 10th to all customers matching the selected communication channel every 10th day of every 12 months. So it'll recur again in a year from that date. Now, right next to this date, you have a chance to configure when this will end by. So if you have something that's going out every single day for a week, you can basically say at the end of the week, I want it to stop. Or if there's no end date in mind, you can keep it completely open. And at that point, when you are done with it, you can simply just deselect that campaign to turn it off for future references. So that's how we do our campaigns. Now, the very last one I did want to kind of touch on is setting up a scheduled event from a set data from a report. So let's go ahead and cancel out. Oh, I guess one other thing. To make sure everything stays in place, you would click OK and it will lock all of that into play. So let's go ahead and click OK. And those are now set in stone for how we wanted to configure them. Now, for our data set, we are going to use our ad hoc reporting from the right side menu. And in this scenario, we want to send out a message to our customers that we haven't seen in a while. So from the third one from the top, we are just going to go ahead and select last time in. And we are going to change that operator from an equal to a range. And now we're going to select our date ranges from the beginning of 2023 to the end of 2023, because we're going to send them a "We miss you" message. So we've got our date ranges in here. The other thing that we are going to do is we are going to select that we do not want um, a vendor. Let's see, business name. All right, so at this point, I don't want to include vendors, so I'm just going to take business name and I'm going to say that this one is empty because I only want to send it to actual live customers. So from here, we're going to click OK to run our report. We are going to highlight all of our customers by clicking on the first one, holding down our Shift key, then selecting the last one. So now that all of these are selected, we are going to just head to the right side menu, click Send Mobile Message, and then this is where we can basically configure that scheduled event for a specific data set. So at that point, it's going to be, we missed you, come stop by. We can enter in when we want to send out our notice, which is going to be on Monday, and the time that we're sending it out. Now, once we hit send, it's going to basically schedule that queued message to send out from this data set. All righty. So let's go ahead and head back to our presentation here. And we are just going to talk about managing customer experiences. So the goal here is to understand how customers' message preferences work, when to stop a message from going out, and how to update those preferences responsibly. So we're going to head back to Bravo, and we are going to look at our customer profile first. So in here, we're going to pop in our customer's name. And we're going to go ahead and edit their profile. Now, when we head into their customer profile, we see this little checkbox labeled DNT, and that stands for Do Not Text. So when it's selected, all of the options to push out notifications or messages to that customer is going to disable. So you won't see the little bubble to send them out a text. Now, if you want to enable this option again for your customer, you would simply unselect it and those options do return back. Now, anytime this checkbox is marked, in any place that you see your customer's information, like for instance, on our loans to expire or our layaway messages, it will mark that profile as do not text. And it will also update so that any of our scheduled mobile events won't get sent to these customers. Now, a best practice is when you're creating brand new customers is just addressing the conversation right then and there, like while you're entering their phone number. Hey, do you want to receive messages about reminders for your loans and your layaways? And then at that point, if they don't want to, you can easily select do not text and they won't get bothered by any of the messages being sent out. Now, for customers already receiving text messages, if they go in and they say, hey, I no longer want to receive them, they can easily head to their text message, type in the word stop, and it will unsubscribe them from future messages from Bravo. So as soon as Bravo receives it, it's going to send them a message that says, hey, you have successfully been unsubscribed. And if they want to re-engage with that store again, they can simply type in the word start and they could resubscribe to those messages from their favorite store. Last but not least, we have viewing customer history. So anywhere you are in a customer's profile, whether it's from their profile or one of the other managing screens, you have access to their contact history. So we can go ahead and select that and it will pull up all of the different contact attempts that the customer has made. If it is sent directly from the system, it's going to show as system, or if it's sent from a specific employee, it will link those employees to that contact history. Now, those are available in any of those screens simply by highlighting an area, clicking Customer View, and then contact history from there. So you can reach these from the profile or from any customer screen. Last but not least, we also have our digital marketing settlement report, which you can find in our canned reportings under the report section. So we're going to go ahead and navigate to the right side menu, click on reports, and then head to sales report and click on digital marketing settlement. This will allow you to pull up the billing period to see how your messages are performing. It does give you a clean summary with details, including exactly what was sent to whom, and also, just the outline of up top. So if we go back and select with details, it will show those specific messages. Okie doke. So that is pretty much all we have for you today. So we're going to open it up to you to see if we have any questions. Luis, any questions in the chat or Q&A?
We don't have any questions right now.
All right. Well, if that's the case, we are just going to close out with thanking you so much for joining us today. We host webinars every Wednesday and Thursday. So if you found this helpful, come hang out with us again. And each session that we hold is packed with tips, walkthroughs, and real-time support to help you get the most out of Bravo. We hope to see you next time. Have a good day.